gonna mute. There we go. All right. All right. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody. I'm Captain Chaza'el, RIA, with Kingdom of Israel, United Worldwide. And as first and foremost, I want to give all honor, power, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Shout out to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad, who are the so-called Blacks, so-called Mexicans, and indigenous Indians of Seminole and Negro descent, according to the Bible, history, and prophecy. Welcome to our Shabbat class. Please put a 1 in the chat if you're watching and you can hear us, if the volume's good. Before we get started, I want to make sure that we can hear. We've been trying to straighten out some technical issues, and I want to make sure everybody can hear us. Okay, please put a 1 in the chat if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, so that we know that the sound is clear. Okay, so we can get started. All right. Shabbat shalom, Lakeisha. Thank you very much. So she can hear us. That's good. Byron, Shabbat shalom, Mark. Shabbat shalom. Make sure everybody can get this. Okay. Is there any more? Travis, Shabbat shalom. Officer Brad, Yahabashim Shabbat. All praise be to the Most High. There's some mighty men of the Lord up here in class with us today. All praises. All praises. And please like the video, share it, thumbs down it, don't matter. Put a sad face, mad face. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Just do something. Just do something while you're here, man. You know what I mean? Let's do something. If it's not for the congregation, let's do it. Let's do it for the Most High. All right, let's do it for the Most High. Today, as you guys see the billboard and the title, the Daughters of Zion. Babylon needs you to serve in her army. Last week, we were talking about the men serving in Babylon's army. Can you pull that up? Remove us from the stream, and then we're going to show. Check this out, Israel, just in case you just joined us. Go ahead. That is our dear sister, Megan the Stallion. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but she's actually from San Antonio. She's actually from here. But she claims to be from Houston. Wait, she's from here. Yeah, that's who that was. So very interesting to kind of see that. And my sisters, all of my sisters, including my wife, my sisters. I mean, it's a lot coming at y'all, right? It's a lot coming at y'all. I mean, it's very heavy, almost unbearable with the things that come at y'all. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Am I close? Real close. Mm-hmm. Almost unbearable. You know, so many doctrines, so many accusations, so many voices, right? Buy a dog, die alone, right? Yes. You can't address no man according to the scriptures ever. Right? Yeah. You're not supposed to talk. Oh, how about this one? You can't even get in the kingdom without a husband. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. How about that one? Yeah, you gotta have that. Right. No matter how wicked his ass is, right? Yeah. Don't matter. Y'all know what it really is? Y'all know what it really is? Mm-hmm. It's confusion. It's noise. It's confusion. That's what Babylon does. That's what it does. It's confusion. Our good sister Meg the Stallion, you cannot sit up here and tell me she is not confused. If you asked her a moral question, she couldn't answer it. Because that's not her premise. That's not what she's engulfed in. She's engulfed in confusion. Give me Romans 15:4. Let's start there. Start there. Because confusion is where we are. That's why Babylon needs the daughters of Zion, the princesses of the Most High Yah in her army. Okay? Give me Romans 15:4.
This is the book of Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
The things that were written in the scriptures aforetime were written for our learning. Read.
That we through patience.
Through what?
Through patience.
Through patience. Read.
And comfort.
And what?
And comfort.
Come on.
Of the scriptures.
Of what?
Of the scriptures.
Patience and comfort of the scriptures. Read.
Might have hope.
Might have what?
Hope.
Might have hope. Because we can't get hope in the world. We can't look around at what's in the world and have hope. Okay? Read on.
Verse 5. Now the Elohim of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one toward another according to Hamashiach Yahushua.
We're supposed to be one with Hamashiach, with the Messiah, in the way he walked, which is according to the law, statutes, and commandments. Loving each other, love towards one another. Okay? Men towards our brothers towards our sisters towards our sisters, our brothers towards our brothers. Read.
Verse 6, that ye may with one mind. And
with what?
With one mind.
Come on.
And one mouth glorify Elohim.
Wait, hold on. Read verse 6 one more time.
Verse 6, that ye may with one mind and one mouth.
One mind and one mouth. Read.
Glorify Elohim, even the Father of our King, Hamashiach Yahushua.
So this is saying, Paul is saying that all the things that are written in the scriptures are written for us to learn how to come closer together as one, how to learn how to be one with Hamashiach Yahushua, men and women. Okay? Give me Ezekiel 3:4. Ezekiel 3:4. If you just joined us, welcome. Shabbat Shalom. Captain Chaza'el RIA with Kingdom of Israel United Worldwide. Please subscribe, like, and share the video, and give us some feedback. Okay. Today's lesson is how Babylon wants the daughters of Zion in her armor. Okay. Read that. Read what you got.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 4. And he said unto me, Son of man.
Read it again.
And he said unto me, Son of man,
go,
get thee unto the house of Israel.
No, get thee unto the whole world.
The house of Israel.
The what?
The house of Israel.
The house of Israel. The whole house of Israel. Not just the men, not just the women, not just the children. To the whole house of Israel. Read.
And speak with my words unto them.
Speak with my words unto them. Read on.
For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech and in hard language.
It's not that they don't understand what you're saying. It's not they're not speaking English. It's not that they didn't understand Hebrew. It's not hard to understand what we're saying. Okay, the Most High knows that. Read.
But to the house of Israel, not too many people of a strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. You're going to understand everything coming out of our mouth. They're going to understand you. That's the way this works, right? Read. Surely, had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee. Verse 7. But the house of Israel. Well, who? But the house of Israel. The whole house of Israel. Read. Will not hearken unto thee. For they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. And what? Hard-hearted. Hard-hearted. Read on. Verse 8. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces. That's the way the Most High is. He's put his people strong against the face of our own people. Read. And thy forehead strong against their forehead. He's made our minds strong against their minds. He's talking about the 1/3 elect and the 2/3 that are chosen to perish.
Read.
As an adamant, harder than flint, have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks.
Don't be dismayed at their looks, because our people can look rough, right? Sit up. I want you to project. Our people can really, really look tough, mean, and evil, right? The Most High said, don't be dismayed at the way that they look. Okay, read on.
Though they be a rebellious house.
But they be what?
A rebellious house.
Read.
Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart.
Receive where?
In thine heart.
In thy heart. Come on.
And hear with thine ears. And go, get thee to them of the captivity.
Get thee to what?
To them of the captivity.
Them of the captivity. Read.
Unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
Whether they what?
Hear or forbear.
Read verse 11 again.
And go, get thee to them of the captivity.
This is talking about those that are of the captivity. Read.
Unto the children of thy people.
Unto what?
The children of thy people.
This is only talking about Israel. Why is the Most High specifically talking about his children that are in captivity? He's talking about us. Okay, read.
And speak unto them and tell them, Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear.
Whether they will listen or not. We're supposed to tell them. We're supposed to tell them the truth. We're supposed to correct them. Okay, because, you know, we would understand, and we're under the same oppressors that we've been in since ancient Greece. Okay. And the Edomites, okay, the Greeks, the Caucasians, Edomites, same thing. Their names change just like our names change. From Israel to Black to Mexican to African American to Negro, it changes, okay, according to what so-called white man wants to do. All right. They're using the same tactics that they used to use to oppress us back then. All right, let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's get the Apocrypha. Let's get First Maccabees 1 and 20. Okay. Let's read a little bit about it. First Maccabees 1 and 20. Okay, we're gonna get a little context right here. Okay. Bring it out.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 20. And after the Antiochus had smitten Egypt, he returned again in the 143rd year.
Okay. Read it. Read on.
And went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
So this king, this Antiochus Epiphanes, that smited or smitten Egypt, he returned again. So after this Greek, Antiochus was a Greek. Okay, he was one of the generals of King Alexander. Okay, he was a Greek, a Caucasian, or an Edomite. I prefer Edomite. Okay, if they don't know what I'm talking about, I'll say a Caucasian. I don't say white. Okay, because they're not white like a piece of paper. Okay, but he went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude. Why? Because he went up against the whole house of Israel. Okay, the northern and the southern kingdom. When you read that, you're not reading about lands. You're reading about the northern and southern kingdom at this point. He went up against them with a great multitude. Jump down to verse 24. So I wanted to make sure that we got context so we understand who we're talking about here.
Verse 24. And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel.
There was a what?
Great mourning in Israel.
There was a great mourning, not when the sun comes up, but sadness. There was a great sadness among Israel. Read.
In every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned, the virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women changed.
Wait, read verse 26 one more time.
So that the princes and elders mourn.
The princes and the elders mourn. These are the men. Read.
The virgins and young men were made feeble.
Feeble means weak. They were made. The young men and women were made weak. Read.
And the beauty of women was changed.
Y'all see that? when Esau took the precious things away, he caused a great mourning or a great sadness, and the beauty of women changed. Everybody understand this? Okay. People don't think about that and how significant that is, but it's very, very, very significant because our women are wired different. Okay. Whether men want to recognize it, accept it or not, they're wired different, and everything touches their emotions. So if you could imagine, as a nation of people, us being defeated in this way, and our women taken captive, beaten, raped, kidnapped, sold, all the wicked things that we've gone through as a people, the men are destroyed, but it does even worse for the women. That's why the beauty has changed. Y'all see that, right? That's why the beauty has changed. I want you to go into the email. I want to get this article that I want us to check out regarding it's West Point. I want you to pull up the West Point article. Yes, sir. It's a link. There you go. Okay. Let's wait for it to come up real quick, and then screen share. Wait for it to come up first. Okay, go ahead and screen share. That's the way we kind of got to do it. You know, I want to share something with you all that's going on right now, and what Babylon is doing right now. Stay right there. Okay. Angela Washington, who's a writer, I believe, blasted West Point Consolidated School District over valedictorian and salutatorian. Okay. The issue is what we're seeing. Go ahead and scroll down. The issue that we're seeing here is you have in every graduating class, you have a number one and a number two when it comes to education in that class, right? Right. I want y'all to watch this. I'm gonna read this here. And these are two black girls, okay, intelligent girls. Two black teens, Akira Washington and Layla Temple, were initially named valedictorian and salutatorian of 2021 graduating class at West Point High School South. On graduation day, the families of the two brilliant teens discovered that they had to share the spotlight with two white students, Dominique Bajorley and Emma Collie Barrett. Okay. Via Facebook, Angela Washington, which is like, oh, okay, I apologize. I made a mistake. She's not a writer. She's Akira's mother. So the valedictorian's mama. So she went on via Facebook. She accused the superintendent of questing to the white parents whining, even though their children didn't deserve the honor. She also emphasized that Akira and Viola also added that Akira. So this on. Okay. You got it? Okay. She also emphasized Akira and Loyola took harder classes than Bajori and Barry. Okay, scroll down. So just to kind of circle around what I'm saying, the two top teens in this graduating class, this school has never done this in the history of this school. They've never had two valedictorian and salutatorian. But because the first year that you have two so-called black girls that are the two smartest girls in the entire school, now they got to share with the parents because the parents are complaining. How often do we get to complain as parents and schools make accommodations for us? Like, black girls, two smartest girls in the entire school. Now they got to share with the parents because
compared to the ones that were trying to give the same.
Right. West Point, Mississippi. West Point, Mississippi. That's what we're talking about. Okay. In Mississippi. All right. Right. The following statement is from the West Point School District regarding the valedictorian, salutatorian, class of 21. West Point Consolidated School District would like to address the concerns of naming the valedictorian, salutatorian for the WPHS class of 2021. There are two methods to determine a student's class rank. The first is quality point average, or QPA. The second is grade point average, GPA. On page 10 of the just one. Click one. If it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through. So basically, what they're saying is now there's two different standards of judging it, and now that we have two so-called women of color standards, we got to change the standard. And all that's got to change now. We have to add so-called Edomites onto this because their parents are uncomfortable. Okay, they don't like the fact that their children were smart enough their parents to be considered in the first place. All right. You open it up. Okay. There are two methods to determine a student's class rank. The first is quality GPA. The second, come up. No, go ahead and scroll down. See if it's because I think it's this bad. Go ahead and push GPA. Okay. Okay, it's still trying to pop up. I mean, we want to pretty much get to the point. There's not a solution for this. Okay, long story short, there ain't a solution for this. These two girls now have been diminished to have to share the spotlight with two people that don't have the same grade point average, didn't take the same classes, didn't work as hard, and don't look like them. Long story short, and nothing's going to change. Okay, you can go ahead and stop. Don't have the same grade point average. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's go back to the First Maccabees 1 and 24. I'm going to read down to 28. Okay.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 24.
Read that stronger.
And when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly.
This is still talking about the Edomite, Antiochus. Read on.
Therefore, there was a great mourning in Israel, in every place where they were, so that the princes and elders mourned. The virgins and young men were made feeble, and the beauty of women was changed.
See, and that's what happened right here at West Point. They changed the beauty of those girls. Because the beauty of those girls was that they were the two smartest ones in class. Couldn't touch them. And they changed the beauty of that. They had to come by. Esau had to come by and change that. These are the same tactics. Read on.
Every bridegroom took up lamentation, and she that sat in the marriage chamber was in heaviness. The land also was moved for inhabitants thereof.
So wait, take your time. The land also was moved for the inhabitants thereof. So the people that were in the land, things were moved around for them. Okay, there was concessions, meaning there were concessions made for them. Read.
And all the house of Jacob was covered with confusion.
Was covered with what?
Confusion.
This is what's wrong with our people. We're covered with confusion. See, these are some of Esau's tactics to destroy our people back then. And those tactics haven't changed. They actually have gotten better at using those tactics. And these are warlike tactics to destroy a people. All right. And the scripture says all the house of Jacob was covered with what?
Confusion.
With what?
Confusion.
And that's exactly what Babylon means. It means confusion. And that's what's going on in this country among our people. Is confusion. All right. Give me Isaiah 30 and 1. Give me Isaiah 30 and 1.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1.
Come on.
Woe to the rebellious children.
Wait a minute. We'll read that again.
Woe to the rebellious children.
Woe to the rebellious children. That's destruction to rebellious children. Read.
Saith Yahweh.
Come on.
That take counsel, but not of me.
They take counsel, but not of him. That's what's going on with a lot of our people and a lot of our women that you see in these this wicked society and this music industry. And you see them in a lot of these churches, and they're taking counsel with everybody except the Most High. All right, read.
And that cover with a covering.
They cover with a covering, read.
But not of my spirit.
Read.
That they may add sin to sin.
That they may add what?
Sin to sin.
Sin to sin, laden with iniquity. All right? Sin on top of sin. Read verse 2.
Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt.
They walk to go down into Egypt into bondage. Read.
And have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
They strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. That's the king. That's talking about the king. They're strengthening themselves in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. That's who they're strengthened by. They're strengthened by seeing these people in office that ain't doing a damn thing for our people. But that's who they're going to follow. They're not going to follow the Most High. They're not going to counsel with him. They're not going to stop eating shrimp, crab, and lobster because Camilla do it, right? What's that thing that she does? What is this about the pearls?
Chucks and pearls.
What is that?
I never understood it, but it's something about she's wearing chucks and pearls, and they started wearing chucks and pearls. Like people just posting people in there like following her style, like she had on some chucks and then she put pearls on it.
And
with
pearls
it
are supposed to be elegant. Chucks are supposed to be like
cool
stuff, cool like
yeah.
stuff.
So that
So
know, it's
following
just
her trends, her patterns.
yeah. That's what it is.
Okay, so read verse 2 again.
Verse 2.
Cite where you're at again.
Isaiah chapter 30, verse 2. That walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh.
They're strengthening themselves in here locally. This is talking about ancient times, but this is a prophecy talking about our people. These women are strengthening themselves in Pharaoh. Read.
And to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
They trust in the shadow of bondage. That's why May can dress up like a damn demon and it'd be, oh, wow, that's beautiful. We love men too. Oh, yeah. And then, and I was telling Nava, that's not only encouraging our women to act like that, that's encouraging the men to want their women to act like that. You see what I'm saying? And that's confusion. That's confusion. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh,
the strength of your king, read,
be your shame.
Be your what?
Shame.
Read.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
So the trust of this land is your confusion. That's what's wrong with our women. That's why when you hear these conversations about the order of the household, oh, what? No, my husband, no. I'm not gonna follow him. He don't lead, I lead. Okay, so you've heard this argument. Okay, so what happens if somebody breaks in the house? Are you gonna be next to him or behind him or in front of him? Oh, well, I'm gonna be next to him. Well, you out of order. Who's protecting the kids if you both get shot and killed? Nobody. Because you want his role. You see what I'm saying? That's why this is such a problem, because of verse 3. Read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame.
That's the shame of our people, because we're following after a king that don't have nothing to do with our people. Joe Biden don't give a damn about us. Neither does Kamala Harris. That's why she married a so-called white man. Read.
And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
And the trust of this place is your confusion. Okay. Okay. Abe said we're echoing. Yeah. Can you hear an echo in your thing? Let's see. The water. Let's see what we got.
I think they had posted that when you were reading.
Oh, really? When from the article?
From the girls, yes.
Oh, okay. How about now, Abe? Let me know if we're echoing right now. Let me know how that's going. No? Okay. So we're good. Okay. Oh, the screen is blurry. Let's see. Wipe that thing out right there. Might have camera blur. Add it to the screen. Okay. How about that? Go ahead and pull it back a little bit. How about that, Abe? Let me know how that looks. Yes. Let's see. Let us know how we look and how we sound. So we're clear.
Is blurry.
Yeah, that was before. Let us know if we good or not. Okay, I'm gonna continue on till we get that message. So this society, if we can, this society pulls at our women's emotions in every single way. Okay. And a lot of our women who believe not in the way of the Messiah and walk in this way, that trust in this society, they're confused. This is where there's so much confusion among our people. Okay. Because there's no right or wrong in this society. When we follow after this society, there's no right or wrong. In the scripture, it says to trusting in the shadow of bondage is going to be our confusion. If we're trusting in the shadow of bondage and we're confused, that's why we can't figure out what the heck is going on. That's why we don't understand. When you start talking to people about certain things and they just don't get it, you look at them like, are you dumb? No, their trust is in being in bondage. Their trust is to the king of this world, to the heir of the earth, to Satan. Okay. Let's see if you can go to this video. Let's try the video. Okay. Let's go to go ahead and get out of that one. And we're gonna go to the down. Let's see. No, not that far. Right. Is that the one about the witchcraft? Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna watch that one. Let's go. Let's see if you can. We're gonna go to that mark, that minute mark. Did you share the screen? No, yet. Okay. No. We're gonna start from the beginning. We're gonna go up to the 3-minute mark. Yeah. Go ahead and share the screen. And you know what? Click this one. Yeah. All right. Let's see how it works. Let's see how we're going to do. Okay.
I honestly believe Jesus was one of the most toxic relationships I've ever had in the entirety of my life.
You shouldn't keep your magic in the dark. Like, this is your soul. You need to.
Okay, go back out of it. We want this one to be the larger picture. Go. No. We want to go out of it. Go back to StreamYard. We want that one to the left. To the left. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. Okay, go ahead and try to share your screen. It's still sharing. Still sharing. No, you might have to go back. Cut it off and then cut it back off. StreamYard is weird like that. Stop sharing. Okay, I'll go back into it. Yeah, once you come out of it, you gotta cut it off and go back into it. Oh, hold on a second to pull up. Let's see if it'll put you. Okay, that's good. You can close that little screen over there. Okay. So we're talking about trusting in this society. While we're talking about trusting in this society and not having counsel of the Most High, we're wondering why some of our women are turning to witchcraft. All right. Go ahead and play that.
I honestly believe Jesus was one of the most toxic relationships I've ever had in the entirety of my life.
You shouldn't keep your magic in the dark. Like, this is your soul. You need to share it to the world.
Let it rain on me now.
So she said you should not let your magic stay in the dark. Y'all understand how emotional these things are. Y'all see where it's all tapping into your feelings, right? So the first thing out of her mouth, it's about her feelings, right? Right. Okay.
Be it, so it is.
Stuff right there. Y'all see that, right? Just start from the beginning. Leaving Jesus. That's it. They need to get away from it. That's fine. That's fine. But what you turn into now? Yeah, what you turn into now? Okay. Whether you want to call this the black Jesus or the white Jesus, okay, that's fine. I'm just going to speak from a logical perspective. Okay. Whether you talking about leaving the white man or the black man, where are you going now? Let's see what we're going now. Go ahead.
I was a super Christian. I was raised in the church. I was a worship leader. I'm like singing all over the place and touring over here and crying out to God. How many times have I prayed to Jesus to show up for things that were actually needed, and he didn't show up?
Melissa Whetstone grew up as a preacher's kid, but 12 years ago.
Y'all hear that? So she started off as a preacher's kid. You wonder why she's here now, right? What was she indoctrinated with? Another form of witchcraft. She was just indoctrinated, like a lot of us were, with a different form of witchcraft, worshiping after a false god, because that's all it is. Okay, read. Go ahead and play it.
She left the church. She says the community felt toxic. She didn't feel a personal connection to Jesus.
Hi, how are you?
Y'all hear that? The community felt toxic. It felt toxic. Well, how's it supposed to feel when it's all about your money, right? When the premise and the foundation of it is white supremacy. How's it supposed to feel? You know one thing we made a huge mistake when we never did the research on where some of this stuff comes from before we start serving it. Right? We never did the research on it, and neither did our parents, neither did our grandparents. Even though a lot of our elders, they knew where it came from, it just felt good. It felt good. But now the truth is coming out about how damaging and destroying Christianity has been, and Catholicism has been in Israel's community. Okay, go ahead and play.
The frankincense and myrrh I see is here.
She eventually discovered Lukumi, a religion that was brought to Cuba by enslaved West Africans.
It's just a beautiful thing to be a part of. It's a beautiful community spirit. You're learning and growing with other people. So I really love it.
Black folks have left the church in higher numbers over the last decade than ever before, and younger generations are even less likely to affiliate with the church. But many young people are still seeking spirituality, and some are reviving traditions from Africa and the Caribbean through practices that can.
How tarot and astrology became Black and brown women's North Star. Straight witchcraft. Straight abomination. Y'all realize this is why we went into captivity. This is exactly why we went into captivity. The tarot and astrology became Black and brown women's North Star. Ooh wee. Where the white woman at? Why it ain't North Star? Why the Arab woman's hair star ain't witchcraft?
They was trying to learn how to keep
Right? Where the Chinese woman North Star at? Why is it just the black and brown? Nobody catches this. Nobody thinks about this.
Nobody done nothing. When I came into the church, this would have went over my head. Like we was looking at Watchmen and we were talking about music that I say used to play music. Yeah. So he uses music as scripture to get to us to have a chat with them. So when Indian looked up their lines, he was saying the BAAF.
Wow. Okay, gotcha.
Literally said, I done gave myself to him. Then he prayed person backwards, and Prince was like, it's our worship faith. And he was like, if they have millions of people chat these songs and don't even know they sing.
That's right. Go ahead and put it.
Connect them with their ancestors.
This is my Bovada or my altar.
I want you to go back a little bit. Yeah, we want to get the altar.
Ancestors that connect them with their ancestors.
This is
y'all see that?
Yes, that's crazy.
Why is witchcraft's altar a cross?
Always.
It's a cross. How about that?
Right now, she said that's the first thing she came in contact with, but she still represents the cross.
That's the altar right there.
But it's still.
Yeah.
She said he's the worst thing that ever happened to her.
Guess what? Because it's all the same deity. Satan, it's the same deity. It's just a different flavor. Some of it's chocolate, some of it's strawberry, some of it's vanilla, some of it's coconut, whatever you like.
That's what I just
Whatever you like.
Yeah,
whatever you like. Whatever you're more comfortable. Yeah. You didn't like chocolate because you bought on your shirt and made your shirt nasty. Okay, let's go with vanilla. Yeah, I like vanilla. I like vanilla. You know what I'm saying? I wasted on my shirt, right? That's all witchcraft is. Another deity. Go ahead.
It's my Bovada or my altar. A few glasses of water. That's just for my specific ancestors who watch and look over me. I have liquor that my uncle likes.
So you always gotta offer liquor to the deity. Where are they getting this from? I'm saying you go to the Leviticus, book of Leviticus, there was always a drink offering to the Most High. But you offering drink, water, whatever dumb white man books that she got up there. I want to offer this to my ancestors that look over me. It looked like Powerade. It might have been.
Gatorade.
Yeah, this demon likes Powerade. This one's more active when he gets some Powerade in.
Powerade Zero, maybe.
Yeah, Powerade Zero is more active in her life. So I'm gonna keep giving him Powerade. Go ahead.
Gotta make sure he's still getting lit on the other side. I feed them, I talk to them, I spend time with them. Like, this is my place to be.
So can you talk about some of the
Everybody online, if y'all are watching us, please let us know how the sound is. Please let us know.
Is it a pause on your
No, good to go.
No, Avery.
Broadcast is good and screen share is good. Yeah. Go ahead and go back to the video, son. Yeah, hey, just let me know if we're sounding good. We just want to make sure that that the sound is good. If everybody can hear the video and hear us without any feedback. If you're on Facebook, just let us know. If you're on YouTube, let us know. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Go ahead and jump back a screen. I'm just good to go. Okay. The water. Let's go ahead and go back to it. Go ahead and get back into it.
the differences in what you study now was with Christianity. So can you talk about some of the differences in what you study?
I talk to them, I spend time with them. Like, this is my place to be.
So can you talk about some of the differences in what
You want to bring something out? What were you gonna say?
So I'm just paying some attention to this thing right here.
Okay, what is that, a bowl?
Yeah. What is that? It looked like something like a bird or something. What is that?
It's herbs or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you use herbs.
Herbs. It's like a soup. It's like a witch's brew. Is that what we're looking at? A witch's brew? She been boiling that stuff and got all kind of ailments in it. And she smells it, you know, and then that's how she talks to it, and it overcomes her. She sticks her hands in, right, says prayers, runs around the house. How much different is that from Christianity, really? Not much different, is it? Maybe you're a little bit more active with the ingredients. The ingredients are a little bit more inactive, and there's no what you call it, offering plate. Your offering plate is now, of course, your soul all over again. The witches, you got the witches brew right there. You got the good old idolatry right there. You got the liquor. You got the blue Powerade right there to keep the demon hydrated, so he don't get dehydrated in the middle of overcoming the wicked ass spirit. Right, so he can keep running your life into the ground. Right. Go ahead. But you feel good.
Place to be.
So can you talk about the differences in what you study now to what your relationship was with Christianity then? What are you getting out of Lukumi that
I
you
get
didn't find
answers
in
to
the
my
Christian
prayers.
church?
That I tell people that all the time. Like when they're like, "What's the difference?" I'm like, "Because my prayers are answered." Like, that's one. When I come to my altar and I.
So she says now her prayers are being answered. That's what she's saying now. So her praying to these deities, her prayers are being answered. Right? Go ahead.
Pray to my ancestors, and I actually take my time to cry out. Not only do I get responses, I get physical manifestations and answers.
Y'all see that? The first thing she said was that she actually takes the time now to cry out. Meaning she didn't take the time to cry out to the Most High before. Okay? It wasn't worth that. I'm a preacher's daughter. So it was a show, right? It wasn't real. This feels more real to her, right? And she says that she gets a physical manifestation. You know what I'm saying? So she gets some kind of physical stimulation. So she don't even need a boyfriend. She don't even need a man. She got the man already in her life. Demon. Right. Demon right there. Okay, go ahead.
Born into a household where your dad was a pastor?
Yes.
How is that relationship with him now, and how did your family react?
I'm the black sheep of my family. I love my family to death. They love me, but we don't see eye to eye. They're like, "Girl, you're going to hell. You're going to burn." And I'm like, If I was going to burn, I'm pretty sure we all be burning together.
Y'all hear that? That's one thing she ain't wrong about. If she was going to burn, we would all burn together. How off is that? I mean, I'll tell you the truth. This goes further into how you, not only how you feel, but if you start once you start depending on witchcraft and you start going into this divination, you're now depending on something that the Most High created for you to not serve, for everybody else to serve, not you. Now you're dealing with somebody who is completely off the reservation, but she feels good, so women are going to follow what feels good. Because a lot of them are tired of church now. This is cheaper. It is. You ain't got to get dressed up. Hell, you ain't got to leave the house. Right? You ain't got to read no books. You ain't got to study. You ain't got to learn nothing.
They do.
No. They got to learn something, but they don't have to read no books like this.
And it's widely known and proven that women respond off feelings more than men, and men respond to proper logic.
To me, logically speaking, I'm not gonna pour my liquor up for no damn baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Logically
Because you
speaking,
would think about it logically, like this don't make sense
right?
as a man, but as a woman, women don't connect to those logical feelings. So they logically, they don't think logic, they think feelings.
Right.
So if it feels good,
Then
it
it makes sense.
Yeah.
If it feels good, it makes sense.
Right.
See, with us, if it's logical, it makes sense.
Exactly.
That's the difference in how we're wired.
differently.
Right. So that's why the witchcraft works the way that it works with our women. Everybody understand? Okay. I just wanted to make it clear. I don't want us to go down a deep, dark path of witchcraft, but I wanted to make it clear about understanding how some of these warlike tactics were used against our people, okay, and how they're still being used today. All right. Go to Exodus 22 and 18. Exodus 22 and 18. See, and the issue is, and speaking exactly what you're saying right there, sis, about it feeling good. Okay, it feels good when Casper the Friendly Ghost, you can give him some liquor and some Powerade, and he make you feel good. Okay, you good to go on that. Read 22 and 18. Exodus 22 and 18.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a wish to live.
Read it again.
Thou shalt not suffer a wish to live.
Read it again.
Thou shalt not suffer a wish to live.
That don't feel good. That ain't gonna tie you to your emotions, because that's the Most High telling you to stay away. Why is he saying not to suffer her to live? Suffer her to live, because spiritually we are suffering having this among us as a people. We're supposed to put the evil out of Israel, right? We're allowed. It's as simple as that. Read it one more time.
Thou shalt not suffer a wish to live.
And when you look at it, what it really is idolatry. That's really what it is. What's the first commandment?
Have no other gods before me.
Let's prove it. Go to Exodus 20 and 2. Exodus 20 and 2.
Come on.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 2. I am Yahweh thy Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of bondage. Come on.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Read it again.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Thou shalt have no other gods before. It's the first commandment. The very first thing he told us not to do. And what's she doing?
Having other gods before you.
Pouring up Powerade for this sake.
Yeah.
When we got into the wilderness, you know, we were looking at everybody else's God and what they were doing. That's what she did. She went searching.
Right.
You know, even though we know what Jesus is and what kind of Jesus she was probably believing in, she decided she didn't like that anymore.
Right.
Those feel-good feelings were gone, because we don't understand that there's a reason for that. And then we go searching and we end up searching for the wrong thing. And then that made her feel good. It was women. She's a woman. And it was all about, like you said, feelings. Because she left the church and she went searching for something else. And that's what we were doing.
Right.
We were doing the same thing. We seen the crops growing over there, and we're in the wilderness, and we're looking at what these other nations are doing. So we wanted to do it too.
They had a cow. They were worshiping a calf. Why can't we worship a calf? And I'm telling you, these Negroes were so wicked as hell in the wilderness. They got so stirred up about this that Aaron was like, you know what, give me a cow. They're going to kill me. Yeah. He said, just give him a cow before they kill him. Moses came down and was like, what the hell is this?
Couldn't control him.
Couldn't control him. Because we're so in tune to how we feel. Because Israel had to feel like we were like everybody else. We have to worship this calf. She got to work. Calm down. She got to worship Casper the Friendly Ghost. That's what I'm going to call her. Okay? She got to worship Casper because Casper make her feel good. He's friendly. She gets a physical manifestation, right? She gets a physical manifestation on how good she's gonna feel when it comes down to it. All right. How many of y'all heard of Black Lives Matter? Heard of Black Lives Matter? We've had these details and talked about this before. Okay. Go ahead and let's pull up. We'll have a conversation about this, and pull up that first article and let's pull it up on the screen. Yeah, I'll share it on. There you go. Yeah. Go ahead and blow it up a little bit. Not too much, just twice. Right there. That's good. Y'all see that? 3 women down there. So this, you can find this on the Black Lives Matter website, okay? In 2013, 3 radical Black organizers, Alicia Garza, Patrice Cullors, and Opal Tomenti, created a Black-centered political will and movement building project called #Black Lives Matter. It was in response to the acquittal of Trayvon Martin's murderer, George Zimmerman. Okay, so these are the women that pretty much started Black Lives Matter. Okay, that's where it came from. Go ahead and close that and go to the next one. Now, go ahead and blow this up. This is in their about section, what Black Lives Matter is about. Okay, this is why, as Israel, we do not support Black Lives Matter. It's totally against the scriptures. All right. There you go. That's good right there. That's good. As organizers who work with everyday people, BLM members, Black Lives Matter members, see and understand significant gaps in movement spaces and leadership. Black liberation movements in this country have created room, space, and leadership mostly for, wait for it, Black heterosexuals, cisgender men. Does anybody know what a cisgender person is? Let's look it up. Somebody look up what cisgender means. Okay, because this will go over your head if you don't look into it. Okay, and they're telling you on their website what they're about. This is their about section. Whoever finds it first, please read what cisgender means. Go ahead.
Says denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender corresponds with their birth sex.
Read that again, please. A little louder and a bit slower, please.
Denoting or relating to a person whose sense of personal identity.
So a person whose personal identity is what?
And gender corresponds with their birth sex.
So you're somebody that recognizes you for being a girl when you were born a girl, or somebody that recognizes you as a boy because you were born a boy. You are cisgender because you recognize the way the Heavenly Father created you. That makes you cisgender. Right? That's the name for it. Okay. I'm gonna read it again. This country and liberation movement have created room, space, and leadership mostly for Black heterosexuals. So that means people of color who men only go with women, women who only go with men, and cisgender men. So men that identify as being men, me, my sons, we're cisgender, okay? Leaving women, queer and transgender people and others either out of the movement or in the background to move the work forward with little or no recognition. So because of that, homos and trannies get left out. As a network, we have always recognized the need. Go ahead and slow it up a little bit. Yeah. See if you can go up. Like scroll up. You might be able to use the little thing, little roller to roll it. There you go. As a network, we have always recognized the need to center the relationship of women and queer and trans people. Let me read that part again. As a network, meaning as Black Lives Matter, we have always recognized the need to center the leadership of women, queer, and trans people. to maximize our movement muscle and to be intentional about not replicating harmful practices that exclude so many in past movement for liberation. We made a commitment to placing those at the margins closer to the center. So they're more concerned with taking the men out of the household. Really, that's the concern, is putting women, transgenders, and homosexuals in the focus. But I thought it was called Black Lives Matter. But this is what they're about. That had nothing to do with Trayvon was not gay. Neither was his daddy. Neither was his mommy. What does that have to? Even the damn demon. I think he had a wife, right? A girlfriend or something, right?
And they were not transgender.
And they weren't trained. That had nothing to do with anything relating to Trayvon Martin. Now I'm gonna tell y'all. Yes, that was what they said. That was what they said. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. If y'all donate to this organization, what y'all gonna notice is when you click the donate button on their website, it goes straight to the federal government. This has nothing to do with our people. This has nothing to do with our people. Go ahead and close that out. And it's what? Ooh-wee. Now let's go to the next one. This one right here. Okay. And it's going to be a link.
I think every time.
No.
Share the screen.
Yeah. Go ahead and stop it. Yeah. Go ahead and stop it. And then, go back and find where your place is, and then share it after you find it. Because I think one of our issues that we're going to always have as a people in this country is to always be influenced by what the federal government is always going to pose as necessary, or the government of the country always pose as necessary for our people's advancement. And everything that's necessary for our people's advancement, everything that's necessary for our people's advancement has to do with other people. Scroll down, that one right there. Go ahead and click that, and then you can screen share. All right, now we're gonna do a little. When we do, go ahead and share screen. When we do investigations, or they say we're echoing.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's that. You hear an echo in your?
I was on it a few minutes ago and I didn't
You didn't
hear
hear
it.
it? How about now? How about now, sis? She said we're echoing. Someone is listening and there has the wait. Someone is listening in there and has to turn the volume off. Okay, let's make sure that everybody's volume is turned off.
It's probably going.
Go ahead and well, you should be all right because you got on headphones.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we sound now, sis? You hear echo? No. Let us know, sis, how we sound. Go ahead and so you're sharing screen. Go ahead and go to the link. Now, Patrice Cullors is this sister over here on the right. She's one of the founding members that we saw that started Black Lives Matter. Okay. I'm gonna read a little bit of her biography. As an American activist, co-founder of Black Lives Matter movement, artists and writers, Cullors created the quote-unquote Black Lives Matter hashtag in 2013 and has written and spoken widely about the movement. Other topics on which Cullors advocate include prison abolition in Los Angeles and, wait for it, LGBTQ rights. Cullors integrates ideas from critical theory as well as social movements around the world in her activism. She is the author of When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir. Now, scroll down. Go ahead and scroll down. Okay. I don't want to read about a Section B apartment. Scroll down.
She
We're going to. I want to go down to. I want to look for.
homosexual as well?
Go down. I want to show that part. I want to get to her family. Keep going. Personal life. Okay. There it is. Color identifies as queer. In 2016, go ahead and highlight over Jana Khan. Just highlight it. That's her wife. A social activist from Toronto. Wait, go back. I want to finish reading it. She's a co-founder of Black Lives Matter as well as an international ambassador for Black Lives Matter network. Khan identifies as Black, queer, and gender non-conforming. What does gender non-conforming mean?
She's not being
When she was born.
Yeah.
Means what?
She don't want to.
She don't acknowledge what she was born as.
She doesn't have to conform to being a woman. She can be
a man,
whatever she wants to be.
She can be a
She
ghost.
can be nothing.
That's a ghost.
She looked kind of like A-Radish.
Tell me something.
Like she looked like.
Tell me something. How do two homosexual women have the best interests of our households in mind? What do we relate to in their lives besides skin color?
You don't have nothing in common.
We have nothing in common with them. That's why they try to take the men out the house now, so people are butchers.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, that's it. It's not Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter as long as you're following the queer community.
This just looks like to me that it's pushing the agenda of homosexuality and the break of family.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it's
They don't
pushing.
They don't like that patriarch and what is it? You know that
patriarchal
person.
Wait, find that part. The patriarch, as far as patriarchal. Okay. Colors was born in Los Angeles, California. Her mother, Cherise Foley, is a Jehovah's Witness. How about that? How about that? Her biological father was Gabriel Briganic, who she didn't marry until she was 11 years old. She didn't even, did I say that? Okay, I was thinking about something else. She didn't meet, I was still thinking about her wife. She didn't meet until she was 11 years old. So she didn't grow up seeing a dad in the house at all.
That's a problem.
And look what she turned out to do. Now she stepped down from Black Lives Matter because there's so much heat on her about all the money that they taken and she spent on houses and cars. Now she's a victim. Okay.
Gabriel was a repeat offender who was jailed many times on drugs-related charges and died in 2019 in a homeless shelter. So her dad was going into jail a lot, and then he died in a homeless shelter. So the only thing she had to look at was women.
Her mother struggling.
When you think about it, that goes back to part of their mission, because part of her earlier statement was the prison reform of in Los Angeles or something like that. So that goes back to why she had part of that. So all her mission really was based really about self. When you think about it, what had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter, because it was centered around LGBTQ or Q or whatever the alphabet is, and and then the prison thing. So when you tie both those together, it was really all about her. It wasn't about the masses of people.
Right. It wasn't about the plight of our people.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna read down a little bit. Her stepfather, Alton, eventually left his family, leaving Cherise to raise her kids on her own. Color says that she witnessed her 11 and 13-year-old brothers being needlessly slammed into a wall by police when she was 9 years old. At the age of 12, she was arrested for smoking marijuana. At this time, she was a student at Millikan Middle School. in affluent, mostly white school for gifted kids in Sherman Oaks. Color describes that she had felt shame going there with her mother in a car borrowed from their neighbor on Monty's on and off girlfriend, Cynthia. Wait a minute. Monty's? Who's Monty? Who is that? Monty's on and off girlfriend, Cynthia. Since it was in a state of disrepair. She also states that it was the white girls at the school who introduced her to weed. However, when she was arrested, she was attending Van Nuys Middle School, a school consisting mostly of children of working class, non-whites, and part of summer school due to her poor grades. For her, the transition was a shock. The school had metal detectors and was guarded by police in other schools. Okay, hold on. I want to get to. Okay. I'm gonna go. No, you're good. I'm gonna read the last paragraph. Colors recalls being forced from her home at 16 when she revealed her queer identity to her parents. Raised as a Jehovah's Witness, but due to her mother's teenage pregnancy, Colors' immediate family was shunned by both the church and their extended family members. She remained committed to the faith for years, even in exile, but later grew disillusioned with the church. That sounds like the sister that we were just talking about, right? She developed an interest in the Nigerian religious tradition, Ifa.
Oh, witchcraft.
More witchcraft.
Witchcraft again.
Boom, there it is. Hold on, let's read it. A Yoruba religion, a system of what?
Divination.
A system of what?
Divination.
This is your Black Lives Matter. All you church folk, this is your Black Lives Matter founders. Stay right there. Hold on, I'm gonna read something. Okay. Now, I want you to pull Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. That's what I want. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. I'm gonna keep reading. It's a Yoruba religious system of divination. It's literally, corpus is Odu Ifa, Odumila, which is identified as the grand priest, as he who has revealed divinity and prophecy to the world. Those are two deities use either the divining chain known as Oakley or a sacred palm of kola nuts called Ikin. No, don't worry about that. We don't need to read all that. I want you to read what you got.
Okay.
Oh.
You said Deuteronomy 18 and 10. Okay.
Stay with me.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18, verse 10. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination.
That uses what?
Divination.
Read.
Or an observer of time, or an enchanter,
or a what?
Or an enchanter,
Read.
Or a witch,
or a what?
A witch.
See, this is all about witchcraft, right? I'm gonna keep reading. Incorporating its rituals into political protest events. Wow. So they did rituals. Right, out there protesting, doing rituals, going into doing these protests with rituals. Okay.
No.
She told in an interview in 2015 that, quote, seeking spirituality had a lot to do with trying to seek understanding about my conditions, how these conditions shape me in my everyday life, and how I understand them as part of a larger fight, a fight for my life. Okay. Right. And that goes down into her career. I mean, we're not going to go into that, but we're not going to go into that. But this basically shapes. You can stop sharing. This basically shapes exactly what we're seeing. Because see, the whole world is trying to make our sisters everything except what they are. They're trying to make them whores, homosexuals, to connect them with other nations, especially Esau. Okay?
Because remember, she was introduced to weed by white girls.
White girls. Not us.
Right.
White girl.
That's what she said. Okay. I want you to go and do a Google search. Go ahead and share your screen. We're going to do a Google search on Black women dating. I just want you to type that in. Black women dating. Let's do a Google search on that. Okay. Are you sharing?
Okay. So when I share the audio, I guess I should share the audio when I do it.
Yeah, don't share the audio.
So when I do screen share, they'll still be able to hear you from there.
Okay. Very good. Let's try that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now go to images. Let's see what we got. This is what's going on. What's the first picture you see?
Bro, like I knew it.
Well, I mean, we can't make this stuff up. The first thing is interracial romance. I love my mask. There you go. I love my mask. Look at this. Look at this.
You see one, but of course they got to be at the bar.
Right. Of course that. But look. You can look.
Bro.
Come on, man.
Bro.
You can't tell me this ain't by design. You can't tell me this ain't by design. Look, let's change the search. Let's change the search to Black women in love.
Black women in love. Oh.
Black women in love.
Oh, man.
Let's see what we come up with. Maybe we'll see something a little bit more. Oh, come on. It gets worse. It gets worse.
That's Black women in love.
That's Black women in love.
Dog.
And look, she got Jake down here at the left. She look like she in love?
No. The strong Black woman kills.
The strong Black. Listen to that. Look at that. Scroll down.
How the strong Black woman kills Black love.
Go down.
What the?
Okay. We got a little bit of romance. Keep going. Oh my goodness.
Man.
Let's shut it down. Now,
come on.
Let's shut it down. See, and this is what y'all have to understand is being pushed. This is what's being pushed. Okay. I want you to get this one right here. Pull this one up right here. Okay. I got one last visual I wanna share with my people regarding this topic. But anything, give me 1 Thessalonians 5:21. You can keep going. You want this one. Can you do? Yeah. 1 Thessalonians 5:21.
Mm-hmm. Con. Mm-hmm. This is the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Prove all things.
Read that again.
Prove all things.
Prove all things. Read.
Hold fast that which is good.
So we're only here to prove what we're talking about, and only here to prove hold on to the things that are good. Okay. Now, block that. So here, our women are being pushed into the hands of the nations. And while we're speaking about this, there's a comedian named Gary Owens. Gary Owens is a white boy, so-called white man, who's a comedian who's always around so-called Black men, so-called Black people. He's been married to a so-called Black woman for like 29 years. Her name is Kenya Duke. Okay. She is now accusing him of being a deadbeat. Okay.
For 29 years.
29 years. Okay. Scroll down.
Come on, man.
Scroll down. Okay. I'm gonna read. Scroll up a little bit more. No, the other way. There you go. Keep going. I want to get to that part. Okay, that's good. At Gary Owens, you have never gone to the media. The media goes looking for paperwork. I have allowed you to tell your family, friends, and fans any false narratives that you want or need it to be about us, the relationship and our kids. Oh, you're not sharing? Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna start over. All right. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, hopefully this is a little better. Everybody can hear us. At Gary Owens Comedy. I have never gone to the media. The media goes looking for the paperwork. I've allowed you to tell your family, friends, and fans any false narratives that you want or need to be about us, the relationship and our kids, because I don't care or feel a need to defend or explain myself. You and I know what it really is. But when you go and make these dumb, passive aggressive posts in these insensitive ass t-shirts, I am triggered and you now have my attention. You haven't supported us since April 1st. Wait a minute, I thought it was only so-called black men that didn't support their families. I mean, because the narrative is you go to you go to Esau, you go to a Caucasian, your life is better. Isn't that what the picture showed us? Black women dating.
Black women in love.
Black women in love. You on his back, loving him. 29 years, right? Or 23 years. Okay. You haven't supported us since April 1st. Nothing. Nada. Zero. Not electric, water, gas, not insurance, medical, dental, life, car, house, etc. Not groceries, not maintaining for the house, not the gas or maintenances of the car, not the platinum card I got for us because you wanted one and you couldn't get one on your own. I believe it. Not the cell phone you had for 23 years. Instead, you just got another phone number and didn't pay the bill. All of your bills are attached to my social security number and credit. You have paid the $4,500 mortgage that is attached to your social security number and credit for the first time, but that is it. You haven't seen your daughter in over 6.5 months. You haven't seen your son in over 4 months. This is your choice. You do remember us, right? I guess we were useful when your content was needed. Or when I allowed you to live your best life, when I stayed back with the kids, the house, and taking care of the business. This is what it is after 23 years of being only one to have your back, being the only one to have your back 100% of the time. Wow. The new you is a mofo. Do you even recognize right anymore? You've shown the lack of care for me maintaining the financial stability and sole emotional support for our kids. I'm the only person that has always protected you, and you treat me like this. Says more about your character than any of your antics. Why? You are not a good guy, so cut it out and get a shirt that says deadbeat. I will let you get back to living your best life, lying, clout chasing, side chicks, and looking for a black celebrity friend group. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
That's what he did. He used them content.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't feel bad for her either. I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel bad for her either because I know she was one of these sisters that was out here like, you know what, the hell with black men. Give me a wife. Now look what he did. Right. Now look what he did. Now his true spirit just kind of came to light. Right.
She was protected, really, in essence, she was also protecting herself because she knew all of this for some time. And now, after all these years, it's just coming out because
when he didn't provide for her when she thought she didn't get the big payoff that she thought she was going to get in the end.
By having somebody, somebody like that, because if you're a black woman dating white men, you got to have this image that everything is great,
super high standard.
You got to have an image, and that's what she was protecting. That image. He used her for his stand-up, which that's what he was doing. He was always talking about her and stand-up and about his little mixed kids, and we didn't know nothing about this woman.
Never seen her.
Never seen her. Only heard about her in stand-up, and then here she goes.
all the way out there.
Mm-hmm.
She's her own celebrity now.
Because she didn't get what she thought she was gonna get. So it was all fun and dandy and cool when you thought we coming up and we can do this together. But when you finally realized that it really wasn't about you to begin with, but all about him.
Yeah.
Now you want to be
mad. And that
mad.
you was used like a puppet.
Right.
Now you want to be mad. And now you want to come out and say things.
Right.
But you was the puppet all along.
The whole time. But see, she knew it. She knew it. The whole time she knew it. And that's why I say I don't feel bad for her. But at the same time, when it comes down to it, nobody's going to love us but us. The way we need to be loved. Nobody's going to love us but us.
We don't want to.
I see so many of our people chasing the other things. And I don't know. I always tell them, you know what? It looks good. It feels good right now. But eventually it's all going to come to an end. And especially if you're a person that potentially has something great going for you, that's all they're waiting for is the payout.
Yeah. That's
and if
right.
they got to wait 20, 30 years for that payout, they're going to wait.
Right.
And then they're going to strip you of everything you have and all your dignity. And they're going to leave you hanging high and dry with nothing.
Like Michael Strahan. Look what he's going. Look what he was going through. Michael Strahan.
Yeah, a lot of them.
They're going through
and
that.
then I see in the end, they end up with their own kind.
Yeah. To pick up the pieces.
Broke and disgusted.
Yep. To pick up the pieces.
You're broken, you're disgusted, you're hurt. You like a vase has been cracked so many times and glued back together.
Yep.
Like, and then you come back to your people.
Then you come back to your people. OJ tried that.
That frustrates me though. I get angry about that.
Right, and think about it. This is all to trigger her anger because they want her to act out. Because guess who's going to be the victim? In the end, guess who's going to be the real victim? He will be. He's going to be the victim, and they're going to play on her emotions and make her the bad guy.
Right after all this time,
this whole time, right? But she puts herself in that situation, and then society helps her to be comfortable in that position for 23 years. Say it again. That's all he's got to do.
See, this is why we tell you about black women.
Yeah, this is why y'all don't need to get with black women. But when it's time for black women dating, they hugging on Esau.
All the commercials show it too.
The commercials are showing it. Everything pumping in the TV, the radio, and on the internet is teaching you to go after other nations. Give me Proverbs 3 and 31. Proverbs 3 and 31. Because see, read what you got. Bring that out when you got it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Read that again.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor. Come on.
And choose none of his ways.
And choose what?
None of his ways.
And choose none of his ways. See, as a husband and wife, we become one, right? In marriage, we become one. We cleave on each other, right? That means your ways and my ways are similar, right? You can relate. So attaching yourself to the oppressor is choosing his ways. It's everywhere. Everywhere you look, our women are being pressed into this situation because that's how it's all the Willie Lynch syndrome. To destroy the black male, so-called black male image. Okay. And what do they do to when you think about it, they do it really all across Israel. They don't attack Chinese men the way that they attack Mexican men. They don't attack Arabs the way they attack black men. You know, anytime
Definitely ain't interracially marrying like that.
not at all. They don't push it, you don't see it.
No.
You don't see it. Right. So let me get Ecclesiasticus. Let's go into Apocrypha.
I have a friend, she married someone from over there, Arab guy. And he married her without his family knowing. She says the marriage didn't even last a year.
They don't play that.
Because his family immediately made that come to dissolvement.
Right. Shut that down. Yeah, shut that down. Because you're embarrassing us. Okay. Let's get Ecclesiasticus 26. Let's go in the Apocrypha. Okay. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26. And we're going to get verse 13. And we're going to read down 26 and 13. Okay. Go ahead.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus.
Stop right there. If you don't know what we're reading the Apocrypha, which is a Greek word for hidden books. If you have not seen this, or this is your first time with us, you can get this book for about $10. You just got yours, sis. How much was it? $6. Okay. With Amazon? Okay. With Amazon, these are the books that were taken out by the Protestant church. Okay. These complete the 80 books of the so-called Bible. The so-called, we call them scriptures, but people know it as the Bible. These completed, okay? These connect the Old Testament with the New Testament, okay? Start from the top, from where you at. It's like where you at.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 26, verse 13. The grace of a wife delighteth her husband.
The grace of what?
Of a wife delighteth her husband.
So the grace of a wife. This is not just talking about a woman. The grace of a wife delights her husband. Read.
And her discretion will fatten his bones.
So her not being the way Gary Owens' wife just did, put him out there, like all the way out there. It actually diminishes him, makes him weak and feeble. But her being discreet actually makes him stronger. Okay, read on.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh. And there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Read verse 14 again.
A silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh.
Now, people may read this and be like, okay, see, you're not supposed to talk at all. That's not what the scripture's saying. The scriptures are talking about loud mouth, ignorance, always fighting, always over talking, always interrupting, no regards for order. This is talking about that. You're being silent, meaning you're being in order. Okay? Being in order. And what? Silent and what?
Silent and loving woman.
A silent and loving woman, read.
Is a gift of Yahweh.
So if you have this, it's a gift. The Most High is giving you a gift as a man. Read.
There is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
There is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. I appreciate you. I'm going to say this publicly. I appreciate you. I mean that with all my heart.
Thank you.
Read on.
Con. Verse 15, a shamefaced and faithful woman.
A shamefaced, meaning a woman that is not flamboyant. A woman that is modest. Okay? And what?
And faithful woman.
And faithful woman. Meaning she's faithful to the Most High. She keeps the laws. Read.
Is a double grace.
A what?
Double grace.
A double grace. You get double grace for this woman being in order. I dropped my glasses. You get double grace.
Say hallelujah.
You get double the grace. Hallelujah. You get double the grace. Reread that part again.
A shamefaced and a faithful woman is a double grace, and her contented mind cannot be valued.
It can't be. There's no value in it. Think about it. A woman that is. Bring the picture up again. Not that one. Go back to StreamYard. Remove us from the. Remove us from the. A woman that dresses like that and won't shut up and wants to argue and tell you whatever the heck she wants to tell you. If a woman that's modest and faithful to the Lord and faithful to her husband, if she's a double grace, well, what is that is unfaithful? She's got to be a double curse. She's got to be a double curse. There's no other way to look at it, right? There's always two sides to the coin. The coin, you don't flip the coin and it only has one side. There's always two sides to the coin. If she's dressing like that, she's going to act like she's dressing, and she's going to be a double curse. You understand that? Because that's going to bring, I got you. That's going to bring more problems than it's worth, right? Okay, you got, I mean, I'm not going to get too far into that. Go ahead.
Just like how the backlash with Monique talking about women in bonnets.
Okay, hold on. When I walked in, did y'all see the bonnet crew downstairs in the lobby? A whole bonnet crew, sisters with bonnets, just cooling out in the lobby.
I missed that one too, but
talking bad about men. That's what they were doing.
Really?
Yeah, I was waiting downstairs and I heard them.
And it's just like they, you see how they're dressing, with bonnets on. We understand what bonnets are for, and they try to make it about our culture. But even when you look back then, Caucasian women and Black women were bonnets. They were in the house or getting themselves together.
Right.
And now, like, I've went back and forth on some, and they get upset when they see that you're not one to think that bonnets look good. And you're one that said, well, bonnets don't go with my outfit, so I don't wear them.
Right.
And right. They try to defend the bonnet culture. It's like a slut bonnet culture now all of a sudden.
Right.
Anytime that things get brought up, especially with women, mainly Black women, so-called Black women, it's like we can't be told nothing. And there's backlash with Monique, and then there's women out there, talking about men wearing bonnets because these men ain't looking at them like that.
Here's my thing about the whole thing.
Men with their pants sagging, we don't like that. So why are we getting upset, when these men are talking about us wearing bonnets?
Here's my thing about Monique and that. What's wrong with Monique talking about how her sisters need to be corrected? What's wrong with her saying that? Our sisters saying, stop wearing bonnets in public. What's wrong with her saying that? I mean, is that misogynistic? How can it be misogynistic if she's not a man?
She's not even a man, so it's not misogynistic.
They tried to drag her on Twitter and everything, talking about hashtag mind your own business, right? So if a woman can't tell y'all anything, and then when a man can't tell y'all anything, like, for example, Kevin Samuels, he can't tell y'all anything. Who can talk to y'all? Who can tell y'all this stuff?
I mean, I'm gonna say this. I've never spoken about this in public or in the congregation. To me, Kevin Samuels is half in and half out, which makes you lukewarm. Which the Most High say he'll spit you from his mouth. He has nothing to do with the truth. He's speaking from a worldly perspective in the world, men in the world. Okay, men in the truth trying to hold on to Kevin Samuels like he's a billboard. Stop.
Yeah.
Just stop. Okay, just stop. I don't want to go into 10 different precepts about that because it's going to take us somewhere else that we're not supposed to go. I want to stay on course. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to that Ecclesiasticus. Where you at?
I am at 16 now.
Read verse 15.
Verse 15. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent. Okay, I was right. Content mind cannot be valued.
So her being content in her mind, not wanting to go into witchcraft, content in knowing who she is, serving the Most High, being a wife, happy in her life, that mind is what?
Cannot be valued.
There's no value to it. There's just no value to it. Read on.
Verse 16. As the sun when it ariseth in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house.
She's just like the sunrise. Being in order in her house, she's compared to the sunrise. How about that? Is there anything more beautiful than the sunrise?
No.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe a sunrise over water, maybe? It's extra beautiful, right?
It's extra.
But it's still a sunrise,
right?
Though, right? So there's really not anything you can kind of compare to that. We don't.
As the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in ripe age. As the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, so are the fair feet with a constant heart. My son, keep the flower of thine age sound, and give not thy strength to strangers.
And give what?
Not thy strength to strangers.
So marrying Esau, Moab, Ishmael, any of these wicked ass other nations, you got to understand something. When we read in the scriptures, we are continually commanded not to go after these other nations, not to cleave on to these other people, because we're going to end up choosing their ways and serving their gods. That got us into slavery anyway. That got the whole nation thrown into captivity because of King Solomon taking on these strange women building idols and temples to their gods, and the whole nation started serving. The whole kingdom got split because of that under his son. Okay, keep reading.
Verse 20. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thine own seed.
Read that part again.
When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field.
So a wife is actually a possession. You don't kick your possession. You think if you got a picture, your favorite picture, do you throw it on the ground?
No.
Do you kick it?
No.
You mistreat it?
No.
Smack it around?
No.
Stomp on it?
No.
Do you hide it?
No.
I don't know. I might hide it. It's a nice picture. I might not want nobody else to see it.
Nobody steal it.
Don't want nobody to steal it. Don't want nobody to steal it. Okay. All right. Go ahead, bring it up.
Sow it with thine own seed.
Sow it with what?
Thine own seed.
Sow it with thine own seed. Right?
Trusting in the goodness of thy stock.
Trust in the goodness that we are Israel. That's why we stick to our own people. So-called blacks, Mexicans, and indigenous Indians of Seminole and Negro descent are the true children of Israel. Stay away from Esau. Stay away from Ishmael. Moab. They're not going to do nothing but eat you out of house and home and serve you that rat, cat, and dog anyway.
Worse.
And worse. Maybe a people burger.
And the mysteries of the deep.
And the mysteries of the deep. Isn't that something?
Stuff that move on its own even after it's dead.
Ooh-wee.
I seen videos. The Moab.
And they're eating it.
And they're eating it.
Oh yeah, they drop some lemon juice on it, sucks it up like that.
No. Yeah, freaking out. Go ahead. Keep going.
Verse 21.
You know I don't do well with that. Go ahead.
So thy race which thou leavest.
So thy what?
Race which thou leavest.
Thy race, meaning your nation. You leaving that race, read.
Shall be magnified.
Your race is going to be magnified by you sticking with your own people. That's why people can't stop looking at a black man with his own family. They're always looking at Hispanic families really, really hard. Watching all the kids. Yeah. Watching everything that we do. Because we're magnified when we're together. Man, that was such a beautiful thing watching so-called blacks and Hispanics graduating and all the families together. That was beautiful. That was really, really touching for me because it wasn't about everybody else. You got to celebrate children that they would call in society at the bottom who weren't supposed to succeed. They weren't supposed to. That's why they create these schools and these programs. So you have an opportunity to. Okay, that's the blessing in school. That's the blessing in that part of education. Go ahead.
So thy race which thou leavest shall be magnified, having the confidence of their good descent.
Go ahead.
And harlots shall be accounted as spittle.
So a prostitute, somebody that's selling themselves and playing themselves the harlot, shall be counted as what?
Spittle.
Shall be accounted as spittle. Read.
But a married woman.
But a what?
But a married woman.
But a married woman, read.
Is a tower against death to her husband.
Is a what?
Tower against death to her husband.
A tower against death to her husband. How about that? How about that? So who says being married doesn't matter? There's a value to men and women being married and being in the covenant. The Most High made the covenant with men and women. Okay, not women and women, men and men. You go completely away from the scriptures when you start doing that. How are you going to sow a seed with a woman being with a woman or a man being with a man?
Can't.
When everybody had a mother and a father. How'd you get here? But all of a sudden that don't matter. I don't want to identify with that no more. Right? I want to identify as both. Or neither and both at the same time. You can't say nothing to me. That's racist.
That's racist for calling me a girl.
That's racist calling me a girl. That's confusion. That's confusion. But guess what? You can say it. You can say it, and then you can point to the laws that allow you to do it nowadays. Go ahead.
But women, since so much is against us in this respect, we need to realize, like some of what you read, in order to be that kind of wife, you have to start like that, being as a single woman, a single person, a female like that, because you just don't get those values when you get married. It doesn't just change like that. You have to start that while you're not married and have those types of virtues going into it so that you can be that type of wife.
Right.
You know, you don't become that type of wife just because you get married. Because if you wicked when you get married, you're gonna be 9 times out of 10 you're gonna be wicked while you married.
That's right.
I spoke to someone on that while piggybacking on you, because it was a guy that said, I keep getting these non-good women and they all keep doing this. I said, because you keep going after the same woman. You keep going after the same because that feels good to you, or logically that's what's right. So until you change what you go after, you're gonna keep falling into the same thing. So she's wicked because you're wicked. So until you get right, you'll continue to attract those same type of women. And continue to say there's no good sisters out there. So I have to go to the other nation to get a good woman, because we don't have because you're not looking for the good ones. You're looking for the same type that you've always enjoyed, because
the way they're dressed, or what they're saying.
Indoctrinated into the world already.
Jump down to verse 23. In the Apocrypha.
Verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
Read it again.
A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man.
We were 2 scriptures away from that. That's in the spirit right there. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man. So if you with a wicked ass woman, guess what?
You're a wicked man.
You wicked as well. You gotta look at yourself. We can't just always blame the women.
You gotta ask yourself, what am I doing? Is this?
I think that's what the story of Nabal and Abigail came in at. Because he was a wicked man.
Right.
But to her grace, she was the daughter of the Most High.
And you know what's crazy?
She
served him. But you know what's amazing about that was that one thing I found interesting about that was how King David went to the Most High after all of that was done, after he put Nabal to death. What was amazing to me was how David gave thanks to the Most High for preserving his people, because King David was going in there to kill everybody. He was going to show up to put them all to death, all of them over him. And I remember that was the power in it in me, is how, you know, as a king, how he went to the Most High and thanked the Most High that I didn't have to go out here and kill my own people.
Because we don't want to do our people.
Right. Right. But if they're following a wicked man, that makes them wicked.
No choice. Yeah.
You got no choice. And King David, I just remember that prayer. That was one thing that hit me about that story. Was like, that was why King David was so blessed, in the sense that even though he was a warrior, he understood there's always a line that we don't have to cross. And I thank the Most High for that. I give him praise for that. Let's get my last scripture is 1 Thessalonians 3:10. Let's get that. Oh, you already there? Man, what? Okay. I like that. I like that. 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 3. Verse 10. Go ahead, bring that up.
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. Night and day praying exceedingly that we might see your face, and might perfect that which is lacking in your faith.
So night and day pray exceedingly. Okay, we get examples in the scriptures of praying 3 times a day, but the scriptures say pray without ceasing. Okay, pray night and day to the Most High, even if it's a little prayer. Okay, you know, even if it's a long prayer, you got to go in a private and do it. Whatever you got to do. Okay, read them.
Now Elohim himself and our Father and our King Hamashiach Yahushai direct our way unto you, and Yahweh make you to increase and abound in love one toward another.
Abound in what?
In love one toward another.
We're supposed to be abound in love towards one another. Men with the women, women with the women, men with the men. We're supposed to be bound to this love and keeping the laws with each other. If you say you love me based on the commandments. That means you're not going to lie to me. You're not going to steal from me. You're not going to try to kill me. You're not going to try to commit adultery with my wife. You're not going to try to get me to serve other gods, right? If you love me, that's how you love me. We're supposed to have this love toward one another. Love your brother and sister as you love yourself. Read on.
And toward all men, even as we do toward you.
Bring it home, verse 13.
Verse 13. To the end he may establish your hearts unblameable.
Unblameable. Go ahead.
In holiness before Elohim, even our Father, at the coming of our King Hamashiach Yahushai with all his saints.
With all what?
All his saints.
And who are the saints?
The children of Israel.
Let's get him Most High some praise. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He chose Israel. He chose us. That's why this life is there is a struggle in what we have to do, but in your faith with the Father and keeping law, statutes, and commandments, we can all get through it. We can make it. Anybody got any questions or comments about our lesson today? All praises. All praises to the Most High. I want to thank my young lion Keno for excellent job of reading, helping me today. And I want to thank everybody here with me for our Shabbat lesson. As always, I want to give double honors to the elders and messengers of the covenant. I want to give a shout out to the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad. And I want to give all honor, power, and glory to the Most High Yahweh in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. I'm Captain Chaza'el with Kingdom of Israel, United Worldwide. With that, take Shabbat Shalom. All praise to the Most High. Let's get a Father. All praise.